राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्यामा 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 राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे राधे कृष्णा 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 राधे 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 श्यामा 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 राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्याम 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 राधे राधे कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्याम श्याम राधे राधे कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा राधे 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 श्याम श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे 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 श्यामा श्याम श्यामा राधे राधे नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय गंगाधराय शिव गंगाधराय गंगाधराय शिव गंगाधराय जटाधराय शिव जटाधराय जटाधराय शिव जटाधराय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
Welcome to Satsang. Let's begin with a few minutes in meditation together. So those of you sitting right by that door, I would just say come in a little bit so that if during our meditation time some more people come in, it doesn't disturb you by you having to move at that time. And then find a position that you can sit in comfortably without moving for, say, 7 or 8 minutes. That just isn't going to require you to readjust yourself. And then allow the eyes to close. And allow the senses to pull inward. Really take a moment and very specifically, very actively draw those senses from being focused on everything in the world around. Draw them inward to be focused on the world inside. draw the awareness to your breath. Just allow the awareness, the focus, to merge into the breath. So what may begin as a breath and watcher of the breath slowly becomes simply breathing. If the attention wanders, just bring it back gently, lovingly. Just bring it back. Keep drawing that awareness. It's so easy to get distracted and hijacked by the outer world, by sounds and sensations and the thoughts of our own mind. But allow yourself a few minutes to try something different. Instead of allowing the awareness to flow toward the sounds or the distractions, keep it focused fully on the breath. Notice that as you inhale, you're taking in from the outer world into the inner world. And as you exhale, you're sending from the inner world to the outer world. But as you keep doing it, as you allow that awareness to merge fully with the breath, notice how slowly the inner and the outer become one. How slowly that border between the inner and the outer just melts. And soon there is no inner. There is no outer. There is simply breathing and awareness. as you sit in breathing and awareness, notice how it expands. If you can keep the body absolutely still, notice how the inner awareness through the breath expands. That line between me and not me dissolves. There is simply breathing, awareness, and spaciousness. Keep breathing into the spaciousness. Let it expand. Slowly bring the palms together at chest level and rub them gently against each other. Press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. And lower the hands and open your eyes. I just watched your response to what is spiritual intelligence. That was a question we took up a couple of weeks ago. So I've just watched your response to what is spiritual intelligence. Which do you think is more important to our success? Spiritual or emotional intelligence? So a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about spiritual intelligence. And in terms of which is more important to our success, it depends, as I was talking about last night, in terms of what our goal is. There's no one model of success. There's no one answer to what is a successful life. Each of us gets to decide that on our own. There's no one higher authority who says this is what counts as success. Now, of course, if our life is dedicated spiritually, we look at our scriptures, we look at the sages, we look at the saints, we look at the rishis, the yogis, the gurus, and we say, well, all right, so what did they tell us life should be? And they all tell us the point of life is to wake up, experience the truth of who you are, know the divine of the self. Not just know it intellectually, but live it. But there's a whole bunch of other books you could read that would say success in life is to have your own Fortune 500 company. So a lot of books, walk into any bookstore and 15 minutes in any bookstore, you could probably come up with 30 different books giving you 30 different definitions of what success is. Books on success is, losing weight in 2 weeks. Success is having 6-pack abs. Success is finding the man or woman of your dreams. Success is making all the money that you could ever want before you're 30. And all of the books sell, which I think is wonderful. Meaning there's no only one way that you can think. Each of us comes into this beautiful existence with the opportunity to decide for ourselves. What is my definition of success going to be? For most of us, it's experiential, it's trial and error. Many of us come onto a spiritual path because we've done other things. We've seen it, we've had it, we've done it, and we know, well, all right, I thought that was going to make me happy. But then I did it enough times and it didn't make me happy that I realized, well, all right, I guess that's not where happiness comes. And then I thought, well, happiness would come over here. And then we do that enough times and realize, oh, that's not where it comes. And a lot of us get into it trial and error. Some of us may have been born in families with parents who perhaps were deeply spiritual and we were raised with that. But we all come into this in different ways. And that's important because when you ask a question like, is spiritual intelligence or emotional intelligence more important to our success? It depends what we mean by success. And it's so important to me because I'm not sitting up here as the spiritual police or the moral police, here to say to you, this is what your definition of success must be. This is what you must strive for in your life. Each of us has to figure that out for ourselves. But what I can do as a vessel, as a vehicle, is to be able to say, well, all right, so chances are you've done this, chances are you've tried that, chances are you've had some of this. Has that provided you with the depth and the consistency and the fullness of joy and peace that you know your life is supposed to have? Has that provided you with an experience of being in touch with the truth of who you are? Has it given you the opportunity to be just a tool in God's hands, to know that you're just being a tool in God's hands? I shared last night, but there's so many new faces, I'm going to share it again, my favorite, I should say, definition of success, and then we'll come to emotional and spiritual intelligence and getting there. But my favorite definition of success was given by Puja Swami Dayananji Maharaj, who used to live right across Ganga from us. Beautiful, beautiful saint. And he said, the only definition of success that matters is how you respond to the inevitable times that the universe does not act the way you think it should. So success is how you respond, not what you have, not what you can do, not what you earn, not what you know, but how you respond to the inevitable times, not the times that will happen unless you chant 11 rounds of mala or jap on your mala every day, not the things that will happen unless you are a good spiritual person, but inevitable times. Because spirituality is not an inoculation against life happening. It's just an inoculation against the reaction that most people have when life happens. So, success is how you respond to the inevitable times when the universe does not act the way you think it should. So, when what you want to happen doesn't happen, when what you don't want to happen does happen, how do you respond at those times? And according to him, that is the only version of success that matters. Now, in order to get there, because that's not something you can just teach yourself. That's not a skill. That only comes when you are rooted and grounded in something unshakable. Puja Swamiji, my guru, always says, life goes up and down, but you shouldn't go up and down. And the only way not to go up and down is when you're anchored and grounded. And so if we look at that version of success, that ability, that experience, that state, that place of being so grounded and anchored that the waves of life don't bother you. Another way of thinking about it is, imagine that you make a resolution you're going to avoid sweets. Whether your dentist told you, your doctor told you, or you just decided you're going to avoid them, either, whatever it is. You make a resolution you're going to avoid sweets. Now, you're sitting at the table. You're really hungry. They bring around platefuls of sweets. Okay. One of two things happens. Either you eat them, then your stomach hurts later and your mind is all guilty and full of shame and whatnot. Or you don't eat them, but the amount of willpower that it requires not to eat them is so much that your brain is like all, kind of squeezed up to sweaty to use that willpower, right? That sort of sweaty brain experience of I'm using everything I've got not to eat the laddu at the moment. In either case, there's an experience of stress. Whether stress because I did, or stress because I really want to, but I'm not going to. But now imagine that you've just had a huge meal. You're stuffed. Healthy meal, good meal, but a really big meal. Seconds and thirds on the vegetables and the dal, an extra chapati or two. Really good, healthy meal, but you are stuffed to the brim. Now those plates of sweets come out. Doesn't mean it doesn't smell nice, doesn't mean that there isn't some brain memory of, oh yeah, I like laddus. But that internal conflict no longer is there. There's no longer this screaming inside that says, oh my God, I've got to have it. Because even if you hadn't made a resolution, you're so stuffed that there pretty much isn't room for it anyway. You're full. Now, it's another way of thinking about all of these waves of life. When you are empty inside, when your experience of the self is empty, whatever comes by, it's going to drag my peace, drag my attention, drag my awareness with it. Every smell, every sight, every whiff, everything, because I've got this experience of emptiness. And so whether it's food or drink or sex or this or that or just the drama of my life or gossip or whatever it may be, I'm going to keep being pulled because my inner experience is emptiness. But when my inner experience is fullness, whatever it may be, it's not going to pull me. Because there's nothing inside me that is needing something, that is yearning for something. There's no hungry ghost inside me. So when you speak about, is spiritual intelligence or emotional intelligence more important? Well, they're both important. And here's what I think we would say. The emotional intelligence is important because it clears us from that which keeps us from the spiritual intelligence. We sit to meditate. We embark on a spiritual path. We start chanting God's name. We get into seva. And in a short while, there's all these inner patterns that start pulling us out. I'm in meditation, and the ego's saying, this is stupid, this is going nowhere, nothing is happening, what a waste of time. You could be sleeping more, you could be at the gym, you could be getting something done. Or I sit for meditation, and the voice says, you waited way too long in life to start this. You are way too old to embark on a spiritual path. Just forget it. Give up. Nothing is going to happen. You don't have it in you. Or the voice says any one of 100 other things. Oh my God, the coffee pot. I've left the coffee pot on. Oh my God, the stove must be on. Oh my God, that phone call. Oh my God, my WhatsApp. Oh my God, this. It'll do whatever it needs to do to pull you out. You start going to temple or church or synagogue or gurdwara or mosque or wherever you go, or just to a park to meditate upon the divine in the tree, whatever it may be. God is everywhere, not only in our official holy places. But you start doing something spiritual. And then the next thing you find on your way to the holy place, here you are in a pub, in a bar, in a brothel. Somewhere, something has just grabbed you and pulled you off track. You start to engage. This ego pulls you. Whatever it does that. Everyone who's embarked on a spiritual path knows that. Now, this is where emotional intelligence comes in. Because the emotional intelligence enables us to look at it and to say, this is my fear of blank. Because it's slightly different for each of us. We all have different dramas, different stories, different whatever it may be of our families of origin, our culture, our own inner voices. But okay. This is my fear of this. Or, this is my pattern of that. Or, this is the way that I was raised to believe this falsehood of this. Or, this was what my culture told me good girls don't do. Whatever it may be. But emotional intelligence enables us to identify the problem. What is it keeping me from being able to meditate every day? I know I should. keep meaning to, keep promising to, keep setting the alarm. What is it between me and meditation? I make a commitment, I'm going to do seva. I begin with just one day a week. What is it that somehow every day when that day of seva comes, inevitably, something urgent comes up the night before and I can't do it? What's happening in the universe? I make a commitment. I'm going to be more grounded on my path. Something throws me. So the emotional intelligence allows us to see the why. Why am I getting thrown off my path? Why am I the way I am? Why do certain things make me so mad? Why am I so negative all the time? Why am I so judgmental? Why do I hate myself so much, even though I don't realize I hate myself? But when I'm quiet enough, I can kind of feel it. And that's when I start to think that I left the coffee pot on. And so I jump up and go and check it. And since I'm standing there, I might as well have a cup of coffee anyway, and end of the meditation. So emotional intelligence gives us the why. Why am I separate from my true self? And it also gives us the how. How to remove that, how to move beyond that. Because once I can identify it as, oh, that was given to me by my mom, who actually at that time was going through this in her life, and therefore she was confused and she was struggling, and that's why she gave me this particular sanskara. Or, oh, this is what was going on with my dad or my siblings or my uncle or my second grade teacher or my next door neighbor. And that's why they told me this or taught me that without meaning to teach it to me, but I was just so young and impressionable, I took it in. This is why they acted in that way or did this. Oh, this is why my society taught me this. Okay. Now here's how I move through it. So emotional intelligence gives us the why we are blocked the way we are blocked, and the how to navigate our own very individual path free of that block. But the spiritual intelligence shows us the what, as in, what is the truth? What is really the truth of my life? You could say it shows you the who as well as the what. Who are you? Who am I? What is my life about? What is the truth? What is this all about? So they're both actually very important, and I'm always a very big proponent of psychological work along with spiritual work. Because when those blocks come up, it really helps to know why they're there and therefore how to navigate through them. But if you don't have a what, if you don't know the what and the who of what this is all about and the truth, then you get lost in this just sort of psychological maze of spending the last 70 years of your life reliving the first 15. And that's certainly not what it's about either. So we need the spiritual intelligence to show us the truth. And the emotional intelligence helps us remove the obstacles on the way there. And assuming that there is your version of success, then that's how we get there. Are there any other questions that anyone here has before taking any of the others that came in advance? Yeah.
Today when meditation was going on, so one voice comes in the mind that mind was wandering. So one voice said that bring it back. And then another voice said that when I'm saying to bring it back, that means I'm declaring that where the mind is going, it is bad. So experience divine in everything. So these are the two different voices.
Good question. So he said, today when we were meditating, my mind was wandering. And then he said there was one voice, presumably my voice as I was guiding the meditation, saying, bring the mind back. Just bring it back to the breath. And he said, but then there was another voice saying, well, doesn't that mean that where my mind was wandering is bad? And if God is everywhere and everything is divine, why would it be bad that my mind had wandered off into some other theoretically equally good place in the universe? So nothing is bad. And I always emphasize that. There is nothing wrong or bad. But again, we have to look at our goal. So for example, if I said to you, God, every time I sit to meditate, I fall asleep. Is that bad? Well, no, of course it's not bad. Sleep is a great thing. But it's different than meditation. If every time you sit to meditate and my mind suddenly remembers all of the really urgent things I need to get done that day, is that bad? No, it's great. We should always remember the urgent things that we have to do. Otherwise we forget them and then they don't get done. Or I sit to meditate and suddenly I've got answers to these great problems that were facing me in my workplace or my family. Is that bad? Of course not. It's fantastic. Answers should come in meditation. But actually, none of these things really is meditation. So sleep is wonderful, but it's separate from meditation. To-do lists are wonderful, but also different than meditation. Solving problems that you face in work or in the home, great thing, different than meditation. So if the goal is meditation, that's why we need to keep bringing the mind back. But if the goal is simply to create space for whatever happens, then nothing is bad at all. And if some days it's sleep, and other days it's a to-do list, and other days it's a solution to a problem at work, and then no problem. But that's not meditation. And so that's the only distinction, is wherever your mind has wandered, there's nothing bad. But if your mind is anywhere out there, if you're in the thinking mind, if you're in the past, in the future, in some other parallel universe of the present, I could be on a beach in Goa right now. It wouldn't be quite so cold. It would be really nice and warm, and you could be in so many places right now. None of them is bad. But it's not meditation. There's certainly dozens and maybe hundreds of different techniques of meditation, different schools, different lineages, even different religions have different meditative paths. But there's one aspect that really runs through them all, which is being right here, right now. I've never heard of a version of meditation that's wandering through the alleyways of your past or your future, or all of the other possible alternate realities of your present. It's all about right here, right now, this breath, this recitation of my mantra, this word. So when your mind is anywhere other than that, it isn't bad. It just isn't meditation. Something you may want to consider is giving yourself some time every day to just let the mind wander. If you find that where it goes is useful on any level, give yourself some time to just sit and let the mind wander. If for you, when your mind wanders, it gives you the solutions to problems that you're facing, if suddenly you remember things that you forgot, that's great. It means your mind is probably usually a little too busy. It needs a little bit of quiet time. So maybe you want to begin your meditation with 5 or 7 minutes of just quiet mind time. Keep a notepad, keep a pen, keep a voice recorder, keep something so that as these good thoughts come, you can get them down, you can quickly record them, so that when you're actually going to go to meditate, then the mind can be more calm and more empty. Good. Are there any other questions here? Yes.
How does one sharpen one's emotional intelligence?
How does one sharpen one's emotional intelligence?
How do you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is,
Yeah.
how does one know what your emotional intelligence is telling you, whether that's the right path or whether it's just in the moment
Okay.
that...
So the emotional intelligence usually is not so much intelligence about where to go. That's more spiritual intelligence. For me, the emotional intelligence is that which enables me simply to see. If there's different voices in my head, for example, let's say I have to make a decision and there's competing voices. The emotional intelligence is going to be the one that's going to help me really distinguish, oh, all right, this is the pattern that I got for this reason in my childhood. Oh, this is the fear that I'm having about that. Oh, this is just 30-year-old competition with my sister. Oh, this is just that. The emotional intelligence is going to help me tease apart all of the different things pulling me in different directions, so that actually the truth can be manifest. And the spiritual intelligence then is that which really tends to pull us into the where we are supposed to go, once that pathway is clear. Because the lack of emotional intelligence prevents us from seeing that path. So when you say how to sharpen it, brutal honesty, lots of courage, a deep dive into vulnerability. Because see, emotional intelligence shows us, spiritual intelligence shows us divinity. The truth of who we are is divine. So spiritual intelligence is all about the fullness, the wholeness, the divinity, the perfection. Emotional intelligence is all about the warped, convoluted ways that our minds have tied us up in fear, in desire, in ignorance, in ego. And so as long as we have a shred of attachment to feeling really good about this ego self, our emotional intelligence will never be sharp. The emotional intelligence shows us, oh my God, yeah, look at that. Look at how jealous I am. Look at how competitive I am. Look at how I'm actually always expecting the worst thing to happen and then I make it happen. Look at how I always see the worst in others because I actually think really badly about myself, even though I put on this great show. I actually think so low of myself that I'm projecting that onto others. So the emotional intelligence is a pretty much continuous black eye, bloody nose in the experience of yourself. It's like you think, oh, here I got it, and then the emotional intelligence shows you another level. It's like, oh my God, oh yeah, oh wow, all right. Look at that. Look at how full of ego that was. But the spiritual intelligence shows you, yeah, you got that whole drama thing going, that's all right. You'll work through it. And keeps showing you that even in the midst of all of this insane emotional drama of this lifetime, past lifetimes, sanskaras, how full and whole and perfect and light you are. So the only way to sharpen that emotional intelligence is absolute fearlessness. To just realize, I'm ready to take you on. I'm ready to see it. Nothing you show me can scare me. See, most of us shy away from the truth of our own emotional selves because that's all we know. If I don't have the spiritual what, the awareness of who I am, and all I've got is this false ego self that says, this is what I know, and this is what I've achieved, and these are my relationships, and this is my role. Well then, yeah, I'm going to be really afraid to have all that torn down in front of me. I'm going to be really afraid to have all of that peeled off, because that's what I identify as. It's like lots and lots of people in this world, when they retire, suffer Great Depression. People have heart attacks, they die. I mean, people who were quite healthy, young, 65, 68, 70, they retire. Depressed, dying. When you think, God, retirement is wonderful. You're done. You've worked your whole life. Now you get to travel the world or sit on your porch step and sip lemonade or do all of that great seva you've always wanted to do, whatever it may be. But actually, it's really, really hard for a lot of people for whom their job was their identity. If to me, I am a doctor and my whole identity is wrapped up with being doc, being the one, being the man, I get in there, I'm the one, I save the day. Especially in a place like India where doctors are really sort of seen as divine. Well, now I retire. I haven't just lost where I go every day, but I've actually lost my entire identity. You see it with parents when the kids grow up and go off to college. If the whole identity was, I'm the mother, or I'm the stay-at-home father. Well, who am I now? If my kid doesn't need me now to make lunch and have food on the table and help with homework and listen to stories about what went on in school and drive them to and from, art class and dance class and piano lessons and soccer practice, who am I? And so this is where you see a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of issues, a lot of then friction in relationships. And But the same thing also happens just internally within me. If my identity is wrapped up in my own emotional self, and I embark on a spiritual path to free myself of it, but if I'm not grounded and rooted in the what, the who of who I am, the what the truth is, the what my life is about, well, then you flop around, like a fish caught out of the ocean in the bottom of the boat. Literally the fish out of water, right? That image of just, who am I? What do I do? I'm going to die. And so that's where it requires that absolute fearlessness to look at the self, the false self, which can come only when you're grounded and rooted in a deeper awareness of the true self, of the real what, the real who. Only then. Yeah. And it's exciting, by the way, for me. That peeling back of the layers, it's scary in the beginning because we think that our perception of who we are is really this glue that holds us together. That's why fights never work out so well. Right? You're having a fight with a loved one. I mean, think about the last fight you had with a partner, a romantic partner, a best friend, someone you know really well. When you've said to them, this is just you being jealous, or this is just you being fearful, or this is just you in this pattern. Do they ever turn around and say, wow, thanks. You are so right. Never. It's always, no, it's not me, it's you. Because the idea that somehow what you're saying is true, that actually I am being propelled by jealousy, or I'm being propelled by fear, or I'm being propelled by desire, or I'm being propelled by a pattern that's 50 years old. Well, that's humiliating. I need to hold on to this self that I've built. And every time you try to peel a layer of that off, I'm going to fight you tooth and nail. This is why those fights never go well. This is why the person to talk to about your loved one's issues is your best friend, not your best friend outside of that relationship. Because nobody wants to hear about their own patterns. Until and unless they come to you and say, I'm really working to free myself of that. Can you help? Because we hold on to that. But the minute that you actually take that deep dive, the first one, you say, all right, let's just see. Let's just see what happens if I accept the possibility, not necessarily the truth, but the possibility that I might have a pattern of judgment, or I might have a pattern of self-sabotage, or I might have whatever it may be. Then you look at it. And then suddenly, it's this aha moment after aha moment. It's like all those dominoes start to fall, and suddenly everything starts to make sense. And you're able to realize, oh my God, that, oh my God, that, oh my God, that, oh my God, oh yeah, oh my God. And suddenly so much makes sense. And the minute that you're able to look at it, you free yourself from it, because then it doesn't have any hold on you. And then it's like a kid who was terrified to jump off the high dive the first time, but once they do it, they can't get out of the pool and back up there fast enough. They want to do it again. It took you forever to get them to jump the first time. But once they do it and they experience that exhilaration of doing it, they want to keep doing it. And it's the same thing. Once you have that experience of that freedom, of realizing, oh, what if I'm not this pattern? What if I choose the alternative way of thinking, of moving, of acting, of looking, of understanding? What if that thing I've thought about myself my whole life weren't true? What if? What if I weren't worthless? What would that mean? What if I were smart enough? What would that mean? What if I were good enough? What would that mean? What if the world weren't out to get me? What would that mean? Just for a moment, just for the possibility, what would that mean? And as you do that, so much opens up in this clarity of your life. And then it becomes, oh yeah, another one. Oh yeah, another. Oh yeah, another. And then you start peeling back the layers. And then you get to a point where more interesting than winning the fight is figuring out what it is that's making you so angry. That suddenly your inner motivation, much more than convincing the other person you're right, becomes actually understanding what it is that has triggered you so much. That is what becomes suddenly so fascinating. Oh my God, why am I so angry? How interesting. Suddenly it has nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with this extraordinarily interesting new doorway into yourself. Why are you so mad right now? What is it that's happened? What is it that's triggered you? A whole new, as yet uncharted pathway in the forest. And you become like this fearless adventurer. But that first bit requires just a courageous deep dive. Knowing that the who and the what of you is going to catch you.